guys, I hope you're good. In last week's video I spoke about my 5 favourite things about living on a boat, and since making the video there's so many more things that I thought about and wondered why I didn't put those in my top 5. So in the interest of fairness, this week I'm going to talk about the 5 worst things about living on a boat. And it's actually been really difficult for me, but I think I've managed to come up with 5 things, so here they are. The first one is not having a proper plumbed in toilet. It can be a real pain in the arse, pun intended, like having to deal with your own toilet waste. It's something that you don't have to worry about in a house, but yeah, that's kind of part of boat life, that you get closer to nature and occasionally get covered in excrement. The second thing that we've come up with is that stuff breaks a lot, like a lot more than in a house. Like I mentioned about the issue that we've had with the toilet pump out, that's still ongoing. It hasn't been fully resolved. It's at a level that it's usable. A couple of days ago there was a power cut in the laundry. We have regular power cuts, which is to do with the building work that's going on, and where our shore power is being provided from. And then like this week I had a problem with my lights, so I had to change some fuses. In the process of doing that, blew some more fuses, so I had to change those. There's always something going wrong when you're living on a boat. I suppose the only thing I can liken it to is living in a boat maybe is a bit more like living in a car than living in a house. So there's always something on your to-do list that's going to need fixing. The third thing is having to come home after dark along the towpath, and I know this is much more of an issue for people who are continuously cruising. I'm quite lucky where I am. I don't have to be on the towpath for very long before I get to my moorings, and depending on which way I come, there are security guards nearby. So usually I feel quite safe. There's been 1 or 2 occasions where I felt a little bit uncomfortable, but it's unavoidable, and especially with the work that I do, sometimes I'm coming back like in the early hours of the morning. It can be a little bit unsettling doing that. The fourth thing is being limited for space. When I was buying a boat, I always said that I would never get a narrowboat because I didn't think there would be enough space. But actually one of the best things about a narrowboat compared to some of the other boats that I was thinking of buying is you've got quite a lot of ceiling height, which means you can have a full-size shower and full-length wardrobes, which is a luxury you can't get in certain other types of boats. However, you do get used to it pretty quickly, and like when you get dressed in the morning, you're whacking the ceiling, stuff like that. I like to play golf, but I can't practice so much on the boat, whereas other people can practice their swing or their putting inside their house. That's not something that I'm able to do. It's a little bit annoying. And also like other exercise and stuff like that, you can't do it so easily on a boat. And then like sometimes you'll be window shopping and think, oh, I'd love to get that, or I'd love to try that, and then you've got to remind yourself, no, you live on a boat, you can't be buying all these things, you haven't got the space for them. The final thing, it's going to be a bit of a contradiction on something that I said last week. Last week I said that one of the benefits was that having a boat always provides conversation, but the flip side of that is sometimes if you just want to keep yourself to yourself and you're not really in the mood to talk to anyone, it can be a bit annoying. People want to ask lots of questions, or make lots of what they think are funny jokes, but like when you've heard the same joke like a bazillion times, you kind of find that you're just politely laughing along, even though you don't really find it funny. Yeah, ahoy sailor, aye aye captain, heard it before. And like people will ask the same questions over and over again. It's just sometimes can get a little bit annoying, but I try to be nice about it because you know, they might not have asked before. It's an interesting novel thing for them. And really, if you're not in the mood to talk to someone, so it can be the best thing to do to just throw yourself into it, and it will usually cheer me up. But yeah, sometimes it just gets a little bit on my nerves. But I would say overall the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. If you can think of anything bad about living on a boat, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Bye.